Larry Groce. It's not a stretch to say that Larry Groce has changed the musical and artistic face of West Virginia as much as any single person. Groce's love affair with West Virginia happened quite by accident. Fact is, he still isn't quite sure how or why he ended up in the state. Nearly 50 years ago, he received a phone call offering him a 9-month-long residency in West Virginia as part of a new National Endowment for the Arts-sponsored Artist in Schools program. With little hesitation, Groce, who had never been to West Virginia, accepted the job. The odd thing was, he was not aware of the program and had not applied for the position. But weary of living in Los Angeles, he felt it was time for a change. And what a change it was! Rural West Virginia was a world away from Dallas, LA, and New York City. But he fell in love with the state's spirit and people.
The other morning, at the sunrise, when the mist was on the hills and all around.
Since then, he has been involved with virtually every facet of the state's art scene. Groce's life and career have been driven by a rare combination of creativity, a sense of adventure, and no shortage of synchronicity. He was born in Dallas, Texas in 1948, and by the time he was in high school, he was playing regularly in the now legendary coffee houses like the Rubaiyat. While in college, Groce recorded his first LP in 1969, a collection of hymns titled Peace and Joy and Power. The LP was co-produced by famed bandleader and radio personality Kay Kaiser. Later LPs featured a cast of musicians that included Garth Hudson, Richard Manuel, and Melissa Manchester.
A grateful heart, a garden is...
After college, he moved to New York City's Upper West Side, where he had a regular gig at an organic restaurant which would provide fodder for his future hit. From New York, he moved to LA and recorded 2 albums on RCA Daybreak Records before coming to West Virginia.
Rabbit come running down the fence road.
After moving to Barber County in 1972, Groce charted the top 10 hit Junk Food Junkie in 1976, which propelled him briefly into the strange world of pop culture.
You know I love that organic cooking, I always ask for more. And they call me Mr. Natural, on down to the health food store.
He was lauded by the likes of Dr. Demento and appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, American Bandstand, The Merv Griffin Show, The Midnight Special, The Rich Little Show, and many others. Around that time, Groce was recruited to star in and write music for the pilot for a television kids show called The Big Yellow Bus that was hoping to replace the long-running Captain Kangaroo. That show didn't fly, but the pilot was made, and Groce wrote the theme, which he recorded with Ry Cooder. Between 1979 and 1990, he wrote 36 songs for Walt Disney Records and appeared on 9 Disney albums, a number of which were certified gold and platinum.
Then the mountains fill the night with a sweet lullaby.
His first Disney release, 1976's Winnie the Pooh for President, was nominated for a Grammy for Best Recording for Children. As a result, Pooh received more than 225,000 votes in that year's presidential election. Disney's Children's Favorites Volume 1 through 4 are still in print. In 1981, another bolt of synchronistic lightning struck. Andy Ridenour, a producer at West Virginia Public Radio, had an idea for a radio show that featured live music. He had already enlisted Francis Fisher as the show's engineer. Fisher, a Parkersburg native who had returned to Elkins after working at NBC in New York City, was one of the first people Groce had met when he moved to West Virginia. The two contacted Groce and asked him to be the host and artistic director. Groce agreed on one condition. The goal was to syndicate the show nationally. Now in its 36th year, Mountain Stage is closing in on its 1,000th show and has become one of West Virginia's most recognized calling cards. All told, Mountain Stage has presented more than 3,000 acts and is now carried on more than 225 stations and heard by 250,000 listeners each week. The list of artists is a who's who of American music, with no shortage of acts from Europe, the United Kingdom, and Africa. With a deep understanding of music and a voice that rivals many of the show's guests, he has earned the respect and friendship of scores of artists, including many that influenced him coming up. Always up for a challenge, in 1990, Groce starred in Danny Boyd's feature film Paradise Park. In 2018, he penned the music when the movie was turned into a musical.
tough place to make a mark. But with the moon and the stars up above it, there's a whole lot of loving in Paradise Park.
In 2005, Groce was asked to help create an arts festival for the city of Charleston. Now in its 16th year, Festival Charleston, the 10-day festival of music, dance, theater, and visual arts, energizes West Virginia's capital city. Groce has been awarded honorary doctorates from West Virginia Wesleyan College and the University of Charleston, and in 2008 was awarded a West Virginia Governor's Art Award for leadership in the arts. In 2016, he released his 24th CD, Live Forever, which featured his wife Sandra Groce, a symphonic violist, and his old high school buddy, Ray Wiley Hubbard.
I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna cross that river. I'm gonna catch tomorrow now.
Groce's energy and enthusiasm for music and arts-related programs shows no sign of letting up. He remains an advocate and supporter of everything related to the arts, and he is sought out for his guidance and knowledge by people of all ages and in every sector.
There may be some grand design, but it feels like a long, hard climb. You'll have to spend some time in the wilderness. You'll have to spend some time in